Dave from Sacramento writes in.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
After months of listening to hilarious anecdotes about people obsessed with vaping, Taco Bell, and American trucks, it seems to me that fanboys of all shapes and sizes are a rich mine of comedic gold that needs to be explored a little more. My recommendation, a fanboy bracket. You guys should put together a bracket of the top 16, 32, or even 64 most annoying types of fandom and have people, or just you guys, vote to decide once and for all who is the most obnoxious. Is it the vape bro who desperately wants you to take a hit off his sick rig, or the in-and-out loyalist who will vocalize his disgust at anyone who prefers Five Guys, Call of Duty kids or Star Wars nerds, DC Comics fanboys or Bernie bros? I think it's time to let the people decide and laugh at how much you hate all of these people. Hate might be a strong word.
Mother players.
Ooh. Hasn't that been superseded by the Undertale fandom?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
At this point? Or are they distinct groups? I'm not sure.
I think they're still distinct groups.
I don't know.
Shenmue.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess they're organized enough. Sure.
Yeah.
They've got
That is
Facebook
the only
group.
group we mentioned so far that constantly tweets at me. So that's pretty
Shenmue
good.
people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a vocal Shenmue hater.
Ah, it's a good game.
Wait, you like Shenmue?
I love Shenmue.
You actually genuinely like
I
Shenmue?
played through it when it first came out, and I
Shenmue
loved
seems
it.
like the kind of thing that you would hate. You would hate both the game and the people who like it.
Why would I hate that?
I don't know.
It's an action-adventure game. It did QTEs way before a lot of stuff. It had a cool story.
I
Like
don't
all
know.
the weird little things you could do on the side. I love that
At the
game.
time, it was like, you looked at it and you're like, man, if only someone could find a way to put more Dragon's Lair into modern video games. Thanks, Shenmue.
You could play arcade games and buy little capsules. It's a fun game.
I just learn something new every day.
I
Did not seem
I never
like a
played
damn
two.
game to me.
But I liked one quite a bit.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
People think that Metal Gear is a good story would be one I would put in there too.
Yeah, sure.
Some say the greatest story.
Yeah.
People get very worked up about Metal
Yeah.
Gear.
Across
You're right.
any medium.
You're right.
I would say wrestling fans.
Yeah, you know
Yes.
what? I have to
Fans.
say that too.
Yeah.
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 But then there's like subgenres to all of these, right?
Oh
wrestling
yeah, like
fans,
that's the thing
there's-
is like we're talking about console and Shenmue and all these different things. Like how many you could do a whole bracket just on video game fanboys, like subsections of
Yeah,
video
Some
games.
websites do exactly that on an annual basis.
Yeah, exactly. You could get super general or super specific. You could just say car assholes, or get all the way down to be like, the Ford versus Chevy. Both of these are distinct fan bases that
Yeah.
are both terrible
With
for slightly different reasons.
Different tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are these drilled down enough, or is this?
I'm
too
writing
top
down some
level?
like
Oh, wow,
umbrella
man.
terms here. Let me take out console, and I'm just going to write video games.
That is
in
even
general.
formatted like a bracket over there. That's
Let's see. So far, I've got vaping, burgers, Star Wars, Bernie Sanders, video games, wrestling, and comic books.
Bernie endorsed Hillary. That's over.
But are his people still going to be shitty?
Yeah, they're super being shitty
Oh, of
about
course.
that exact thing.
What other umbrella?
Phones is a huge one. Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Is that
6, 7, 8.
beneath
Okay, I've got 8
operating
on one
systems,
side.
or is operating systems
I think phones
beneath
have
that?
overtaken operating systems
Okay.
by far.
But
at
I
this
would
point.
also, maybe the operating system thing doesn't happen as much anymore.
Although I'd still definitely see people looking down their nose at Mac users on a frequent basis.
I've got the left side of the bracket. I've got 8. If we're going to do 16, we need 8 more.
Who do you know that does that?
Anime.
Anime?
Nobody
Okay.
in real life, thankfully.
Anime's in there. All right. We're not seeding this bracket. We don't have time for it, but, I just need 7 more. Wine?
Oh, yeah, sure. Wine. I would actually also say beer separately.
I would
brew IPA.
I would just cross out
Actually,
wine.
alcohol?
And just put beer.
Wine and
I would
put
just
beer.
put beer.
Yeah.
I think they're both.
Or should we just say alcohol?
No, I think it's beer specific. Craft
Specifically?
beer. Craft
Okay,
beer
okay, okay.
specifically.
Craft beer. Okay. 6 more.
Man, we're
Cars?
getting there.
I don't have cars on.
Oh, you don't have
Oh,
cars?
yeah,
it's okay.
totally. Totally. That's,
Cars,
I mean, like,
Okay.
obviously sports fans. If you wanna
Foodies,
get-
sports.
Foodies. Yep. Foodies, for
yeah.
sure.
Well, do you have fast food, or is that?
I have burgers, so that could be separate than
That's
food.
definitely not
I think
foodies,
that's
though.
the way
Yeah.
beer and wine should be separate. Foodies and burgers should be separate. For
Foodies
almost
and
the
burgers
exact
are
same
separate.
reason.
Okay, all right. Yeah, fair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 3 more. It's really not like
How about
get super serious about soda.
like console wars?
I got just video games in general.
What about
There's so many there.
What
like-
about PC hardware?
Like, yeah, video cards are a huge,
video card, like the-
Okay,
AMD
like
versus
not
NVIDIA is like a huge
So
thing.
should I just put video
Is it?
cards?
I feel like,
totally
I
is.
just feel like
Yeah.
there are people out there
Yes,
supporting AMD.
There are crazy AMD fans out there, trust me.
Okay.
And that's a separate enough topic than video.
Yeah, because I'm
games.
talking about people that are just like, oh, what fan are you getting on your thing? No, that thing's shit. Oh, what
Video
like,
cards specifically,
Could water
that stuff
cool
still, that stuff still happens.
yeah, like the overclocking scene.
Is it too early to put Pokemon Go?
Nah,
Because that's just
that's not really a
everybody.
debate.
There's no other game in that.
Digimon, man, it's coming back.
Digimon Go is gonna fucking wipe up this fucking Pokemon Go bullshit.
We need 2 more. So it's just this is enthusiasts. It's a bracket
Is
for
wrestling on there? Do you have wrestling?
Wrestling's super on
All
there.
right.
Yeah. Oh god, there's going to be a major. Since this is not seeded, there's going to be a showdown in the first bracket here. All right.
Cameras.
I don't think that's visible enough in the mainstream.
I think those people are pretty passionate, but
What's like
belongs on here.
mainstream stuff? We got the big stuff: sports, video games, movies. Like
You put vaping, right?
I got vaping's the first one.
I don't
It's
feel
literally
like,
the first one.
this is not be the right word for this, but like internet security people, like nothing,
InfoSec.
Yeah, InfoSec.
InfoSec.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
so like hackers?
Yeah.
Should I put hacking or what? Well, what's the one word umbrella for this?
Write down Richard Stallman.
Are we including that? Wait, what? Aren't there people that like clothes? Like people that are way into clothes? People like fashion?
I don't know that it's a team sport thing in the same way, though.
There are big debates, and
you
they're
could
like,
go-
"Hey, this hat's better than that hat."
Jordans. People wear Jordans all the time.
Sneakers.
Sneakers.
Should I put
Sneakerheads,
sneakers? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, one more.
Audio files.
Yeah.
Again, that's too specific. I
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Vinyl people are
Yeah.
the worst.
Vinyl people.
Vinyl people.
Okay,
Yeah.
vinyl
Yeah.
people.
Let me tell you about this $15,000 turntable.
All right, I got the bracket here. Okay.
All right.
But I would say like more than vinyl, it's also like people that are like headphone people, like preamp.
headphone people who
Audiophile.
build
So
Audio files can go under.
Yeah, people who
I
insist
guess-
on
Okay.
there are $1,000 individual knobs you can buy for your receiver out there.
Okay.
How do the knobs feel though?
Those so
They're made out of wood,
Oh,
so
God.
All right,
good.
I'm including
It's
audio
pretty
files
good.
now since there are a lot of things under there. First round here: vaping or burger enthusiast.
Oh, wait, are we
Vaping?
really actually building this,
Yeah, we
this
are.
bracket?
Wow.
Vaping's way worse.
Okay.
The burger people are fucking terrible, and I don't.
Yeah.
I hate those debates.
Are we unanimous on vaping?
Yeah, sure.
Advancing to the second round. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we just call vaping in the winter now? Can we just do
Well,
that?
hang on.
Vaping
Let's
wins.
The number one
It's not-
seed, but yeah,
it's a tournament.
It's a process.
Okay.
It's a voting process.
Star Wars enthusiasts or Bernie Sanders enthusiasts?
Star Wars is way worse.
Yeah.
Star Wars have been around longer.
I feel
Bernie's
like
been
Star
around.
Wars
Bernie Sanders has been around for the
enthusiasts
longest.
are
Well, I
Star
know, but
Wars.
like in
I
the
would say, but,
mainstream discussion.
Yeah, I feel like in the grand scheme of things, over the course of my life, Star Wars enthusiasts
Yes.
have had a larger negative impact.
And-
than
and
the
they
other.
More
will
dumb
continue to do
arguments.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will continue to do so long after like Bernie
Yeah.
fandom.
I don't know if
Maybe
I've
more
ever
than
had
ever.
a negative Star Wars
I'm not saying he's
conversation.
gonna win the
Like
whole
people
bracket.
just like love Star Wars. They're
I don't know.
just
Brad hated Force
enthusiastic
Awakens
about
months
it.
before he saw it.
Shut up! I didn't hate that movie. It's not
You
amazing.
said, "I know I'm going to hate it. I'll read the script and spoil it
Not
for
exa- that
myself."
was not a remote. I didn't read the script.
It's on tape.
Shut up.
All right, so we're going with Star Wars.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Most
we are.
definitely.
All right, Star.
Yeah, because all the
Wars.
people that are just like super upset about
Okay.
the prequels. Okay,
This one, Jeff. Video game fanboys or wrestling fanboys?
Which ones are worse? Wrestling.
Wrestling.
yeah.
There's
It's
so
also
many
not-
different types of subgenre with video games. There's so many between genre like the Call of Duty and the Battlefields or whatever.
The way wrestling takes over my Twitter feed like several times a week, and
And the people you're following are probably not the worst of it. Like there's
the worst are the people
No,
on these forums that like these guys that go in and like, oh, he sucks at taking bumps, he can't sell.
stuff,
Like
that stuff is the fucking worst.
Yeah, these
that
guys
is the
are-
vaping of this matchup.
I will go with wrestling.
I think that's crazy, but we also need to move on. So
Okay,
do as
wrestling.
you will.
Comic book fanboys or phone fanboys?
Oh man.
I got to go with
Probably comics.
I'm going to say comics.
I'm gonna go
Probably
comics.
comics.
Comic book people don't rail against you for choosing the wrong comic.
Yeah, when somebody's hardcore about it, like Rory,
dude, like
it's
DC
just like,
versus
man.
Marvel is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Why
okay.
can't that run of Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That run of Batman sucks.
Also, did you see that Captain America stuff a month or two ago? Like, come on.
You're right.
What happened with
That
Captain
stuff's-
America?
Don't worry
that
about it.
stuff's pretty fucking terrible.
We'll get an email, don't
Fucking
worry.
goddamn these phone motherfuckers.
Yeah.
For me, it's like it's the thing of when you like post like, oh, I'm having an issue with this thing, and you post it publicly, and someone just responds with like, don't have that problem with my Android phone, or don't ever. It's like that's not fucking helpful, and you seem like a total dick.
I think
Congratulations.
the only person I've run into online or in real life is Rory that says that stuff. And as far as comic books, I see that stuff all the
I
time
see
on
that. I
Twitter.
see the phone stuff constantly from people who seem to mean it, whereas Rory is funning around.
Is he? Okay.
Like fucking.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is a half and half.
it's rooted in his real feelings on the issue, but I don't think he actually gives enough of a fuck.
I think comic books
I
are
think
more
the comic
visible.
book fandom.
Yeah, the comic book stuff
gotta
is
be comic books.
pretty
Comic
more
books?
passionate.
Okay. Anime or craft beer?
Oh shit, man!
Wow.
Fuck.
Oh. Wow.
I have met people who like anime that are not trash.
I have two. Yes, many of them.
I cannot say the same for craft beer enthusiasts.
I like craft beer.
I
but the
cannot say the
people
same for craft beer enthusiasts.
Are you the type of guy that when I order my Bud Light, you're gonna be like, "Oh, might as well drink that piss water"?
I'll be thinking it though.
Okay, but you're not getting in my face. about
No.
it. Okay.
No.
I think the beer people might be worse. Anime. I know a lot of anime people because I mean, in video games, there's a lot of crossover. A lot of nice anime fans,
Keep my
but the
mouth
beer
shut.
people.
Now, what's your vote?
I'm going with
My vote's anime.
I
I'm
want
going
to
beer.
hear what Jason thinks.
I don't know, man. Like, Jeff said, there's some nice anime people. I've attended several anime conventions. I consider myself to be, a fair weather anime fan, but I don't know some people.
But there are also a lot of Dave Langs out there who enjoy craft beer and keep their mouth shut.
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
yeah.
and there's no problem with that. It's just when you want to order your normal person beer and someone gives you shit, it's like fuck you.
So we're comparing are we comparing
enthusiasts.
the bad enthusiasts of each side? Is that how we're doing
guess
this?
that's kind of what we're doing
this
here.
entire competition is defined
Yeah,
by
it's fine to like
extremes,
any of
so
these
yes.
things. It's fine to like anything on this list.
I think
Then
about
it's
it as
the
like-
enthusiasts that are
If it's
assholes
defined by
about
the
it.
worst, then maybe
Yeah.
we go back and say video games.
Yeah, totally. That's what I
Okay.
was going to say. On
Are,
that.
are we
Like,
retroactively going back? And,
like that's
all right,
why
wrestling
I didn't-
is not the worst. Video
Wait,
games are.
no, okay, I forgot I was up against wrestling.
Yeah.
No, wrestling's still
Okay,
there.
wrestling, I'll write
is probably
wrestling
still
back
there.
on.
Thank you. Okay.
I tend to think about this as the net of like the sum total community and the pain it's caused me. And, not like that the good ones are, the good ones just aren't harassing me or whatever. So it's, yeah.
It's the
anime.
worst.
It's anime.
I go beer. Beer.
Think about
I've seen
anime.
anime.
Someone
about
tweets at you and they have an anime
Think about how many
avatar.
anime
Is it-
avatars there
it's-
are.
Is it a positive experience?
Someone tweets you with
I
an anime
don't-
avatar. You're like, oh, that was insightful.
I wouldn't say it.
They
I
have to
wouldn't
write down
say-
anime and move on.
Yeah, that's if we're
we
looking
saying
at
anime?
if we're looking at the worst of the worst.
Okay.
For
All
as much as the only difference is that it's for me is that it's physical versus digital interactions, where the craft beer interactions are most likely to be people that are right there next to you in a way that you want to hit
With
them.
ironic mustaches and stuff.
No, it's not even. That's
I
not
see a
even
lot
the
of
same.
that.
I don't, well, maybe it's this city. Everyone has one of those.
That's- yeah.
So it's not really that. But
I have more friends that are anime fans than craft beer fans. So I think the craft beer.
I live in an area where everyone's constantly telling you, like, "Oh, you live near the Lagunitas Brewery? That's amazing." And I say, "Fucking fuck off." The same way I live near wine, and people are like, "Oh, you live near the wine."
So what are we going with?
Right.
I have an
Anime.
E4040 in my fridge.
Write down anime.
Everyone just vote. Everyone just vote.
Anime. Anime.
Beer.
Anime.
3 votes for anime. We're in there.
Drew?
Oh, Drew.
Are you going to split it?
Anime
comes down
avatars.
to Drew.
Dude, like there is no counter to that argument.
Yeah.
But I don't really run into that much. Like, I run into beer people all the time because I order normal person beer and then people yell at me about it.
God, yeah. I'll go with anime, I guess.
All right. It's
Headshot.
anime.
Hold that anime.
Cars and sports.
Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Not
sports.
close.
Yeah. Foodies or video cards?
Foodies.
Foodies.
Yeah.
Having not seen much of the
foodies,
video
yes,
card
sir.
argument, I'll go with foodies too. Sure. Okay. Sneakers or audiophiles?
Definitely audiophiles.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're down to it here. Vaping or Star Wars?
Vaping.
Okay. Wrestling or
There's a lot of crossover there, though. That's kind of the same thing in a lot of ways.
all right, wrestling or comic books?
They're the same thing.
It's the Unity set.
Yeah.
I personally would say wrestling.
Do we combine them to have a super competitor for vaping in the final round?
Yeah, the set.
Yes.
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 wrestling-
Highly unprecedented.
Wrestling
Yes.
and comic books
They
combined.
advance in a dead heat.
It's actually
can't
a good
believe-
full wrestling move too. It's
I
like,
can't
let's
believe you
team
would
up.
subvert your own strict methodology
Yeah.
on this. But
Are they
go
the
ahead.
baby faces? Or wrestling comic books the baby faces? in
Heels.
this? Okay.
It's all heels, actually.
Vaping is
It's
the
all-
baby
yeah,
faces?
they're all heels. They're all
Okay,
heels.
right. Pax Mania here.
Yeah.
All right, anime or sports? I say sports.
Sports.
Anime.
I got to go with sports. Sports people are so everywhere and so obnoxious, and they never shut up about it. I don't hate sports, but sports fans, yeah.
There are not people arguing about America, arguing about anime in every city in America on the radio.
Yeah, there aren't people screaming about anime out of my window
Yet.
every single night.
And if we keep working diligently, it'll stay that way.
I think the thing I'll say is that there are too many sports fans that refer to we
Yes.
when talking about the team,
Yes.
and every time that happens, it makes me just want to just deck somebody.
And in the same way that the worst wrestling fans think they know how to do it right, people that, guys on a couch are telling these professional athletes, like, oh, he doesn't know how to do this or he sucks at this. It's
I haven't seen
infuriating.
too many anime riots.
I got to say sports.
Okay, you're right. You won me over. You
Yep.
convinced me. Sports. All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay,
the
sports.
riots puts it over. No anime riots.
Yeah.
Foodies and audiophiles. It's foodies, right?
It's audio files.
It's probably audio files.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably audio file.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with audio files.
It's people spending thousands of dollars on headphones and then trying to convince you that that's the only way to listen to music.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, I haven't really seen that,
people
but
that
I
buy
believe you.
$200 HDMI cables that are
Yeah.
fundamentally
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. We're down to the final four then, if that's audiophiles. Let's start with the one on the right here. Sports or audio? Sports.
Sports.
Sports. Okay. Now, vaping or the dream team of wrestling and comic book fans?
Vaping. It's still vaping.
It's still vaping?
That's the.
It overcomes.
Let's take it
Okay,
for a
it's
walk.
vaping is the John Cena of this bracket. Overcomes the odds here.
Let's take it for a walk.
Okay.
So I've never had a vape enthusiast offer me his rig.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you see those things coming a mile away and you
That's
turn
true.
around.
That's true.
Let me
As
say
someone
this.
who has stared into the vaping abyss,
You have, yeah. I want to hear.
and as someone who will continue to stare into it because it's so fascinating in its depths.
I want to say at its core, wrestling and comic books are still about entertainment, about being entertained by something. Where it sounds like the vape people, it's just this whole way of life identity thing. It's like they are.
There's definitely a lot of
vapists or
that,
whatever.
and again, I think with all of these things, we are taking the worst aspects of this.
I don't
stuff.
think vapors hate themselves, like whereas wrestling fans obviously do because they continue to watch like WWE stuff every week.
One might say they're addicted,
Yeah. They're like
the same way people who vape may be.
They're backseat bookers. It's like, oh, why did they push
The
Roman
worst,
Reigns
yeah, the worst
again?
are. The worst
Yeah.
are.
I'm casting my vote for vaping after deliberation.
I
like here's my thing. Like when just a random guy tweets something and makes its way into my feed, and it's like he's like a militant vapist, and he's like fighting for legislation and vapors' rights. We should be able to vape on airplanes.
There's some
We should be able to
bullshit behind that, yeah, for sure.
It ruins my month when I see so there's people like that. In a way, comic book and wrestling fans don't like.
But you follow a lot of quality people. You would say, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of quality people talking about wrestling. So that means since you don't see a lot of vaping stuff,
That's a horrible argument.
Is it?
There's a lot of people I love very deeply that are incredibly flawed human beings. And
That's
it's
everyone.
unrelated. It's unrelated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think vaping takes it.
I think I'd got to go with vaping.
Yeah.
I'm outruled here.
What do you say?
I am outruled.
Does vaping win?
Yeah.
Okay, so vaping versus sports.
I think the riots argument is very strong for sports.
Yeah, weirdly enough,
There's no vaping riots.
Yeah.
not yet. Wait until the legislation doesn't
And
pass.
it's not just it happens in Canada too, so it's not just us.
I mean, I think the big argument for sports winning this whole thing is that it's fucking everywhere and always will be.
Yeah.
Vaping, who knows? There could be regulations or whatever. This could be a fad or
People
a trend or
start
whatever.
growing a second head and they realize I should stop vaping.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, yeah. It's sports.
I have to say it's sports.
Wow, that hurts. As a sports person, that hurts.
So sports is worse than vaping.
The original and
we just
still the
determined it
worst.
right here.
wow.
That's
yeah.
I don't think that's what we're
it's
saying.
the OG
but
for a reason.
I will,
I guess so.
for posterity, I'm taking a picture of
All
this
right.
bracket. Okay.
Now we know.
Sports is worse than
Because
vaping.
I'm the one of them. Because I'm like,
You're wearing a
90
sports hat.
Yeah, 96 Bulls are better than the Warriors this year because I'm that dude. Wow, I got to take a deep look here.
Okay, let's
Time for a
really
little
let's get into this.
self-reflection.
I see you wearing an Expos hat pretty frequently.
Correct.
Why? Why Expos?
So I don't want to wear. So White Sox are my team. I don't want to wear a White Sox hat all the time because I just don't want to wear black hats all the time. I think the logo's dope. It's not a current team, so people don't assume I'm rooting for them.
Yes.
Which is pretty clutch. The only downside is Canadians walk up to me all the time and say, "Hey, Montreal, eh?"
Yeah.
And then I got to have that conversation. And no, I'm from Chicago.
So as someone who will wear an Expos hat on the weekends, I'm having
Yeah.
a lot of conversations about Montreal, but also it's great because no one ever says, like, sometimes I have like a brewer's hat or some other stuff, and people always want to talk about, or I have a hat that looks like, or I have a shirt that looks like it's a Sharks shirt, but I don't think it actually is an official Sharks shirt, and people want to talk to me about hockey, and then I go, man, I can't wear this shirt.
Yeah.
Expos hat, never a problem.
Yeah,
never a problem.
Yeah, it's 'cause people don't say, hey, but it also happens. Vladimir Guerrero is my favorite baseball player of all time, number 27.
I want to talk about Tim Raines.
He's amazing.
Here and now.
Tim Raines is rock solid. But Vladdy's just the best. That's why. There's all those reasons put together.
Okay.
Like George Brett.
Yeah. All right.
Expo?
Enough said. Whenever that guy enters
Congratulations,
the
sports.
right. Oh boy. All right. I don't know if we have any energy left for any more emails after that.
We just offended a whole lot of people.
Nah.
No, we only offended the bad ones.
Can't wait to see the email inbox next week. That'll be fun.